gonna just cut to the chase. We all know why we here. We all know why we here for this project. J. Cole just dropped unexpectedly. No one saw it coming. Honestly, I don't know if he teased it the night before or whenever, but I checked on Instagram and he dropped. It said it dropped. You know what I'm saying? So I had to check it out immediately so I can do this review, talk about it, get my thoughts. Now, Might Delete Later is the name of this project. He's been dropping teasers of it with the same moniker, but this time we got 12 tracks equal to 43 minutes in total, with noticeable features like Boss, Ari Lennox, Central C, and more. Now, going into this project and coming out of this project, I can imagine most people are talking about the receipt J. Cole had on this project for Kendrick Lamar and what, some of the things he had to say on his verse from Like That. And for the record, I'm not the biggest fan when it comes to disses and rap beefs. I do get it as an extra layer of competitiveness for rappers, and of course it causes hype for the fans and things like that. Now, I don't think all disses are not worth it. I think some rap beefs are interesting than others, but honestly, I get, we talking about some of the biggest artists there is in the world, biggest rap artists there is in the world. You gotta think to yourself, what can you possibly get out of these three? Out of these two, Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole, what can you possibly get? These are like the most acclaimed rap artists there is today. Like, I'm just putting the spotlight on Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole specifically. Like, in my personal opinion, like, there's literally nothing they can say or do to make the other feel inferior or weak when it comes to bars, lyricism, making music, the whole shebang. Because if somebody would have came to me and be like, who do you think is better, J. Cole or Kendrick Lamar? Honestly, bro, I'm so sick of the debate. It's like, bro, at this point, it's a stalemate, bro. Like, we just gotta accept that it is a stalemate. They're both great. They're both just equal. Like, no one is better than the other, in my opinion. That would be the answer that I would give if someone posed that question to me. But that inferior part I was talking about, that may have to go to Drake, bro. Because, like, at this point, Drake would have to take the heat. Kendrick Lamar went at him like this had nothing to do with Cole. You know what I'm saying? It felt like Kendrick Lamar deliberately targeted Drake so that it was made for Drake to respond. Why do we got Cole here? You know what I'm saying? Yes, Kendrick threw some shots at Cole, but Cole, it felt like Cole was just brushed. But as for what Cole had to say in his song 7 Minute Drill, it made me wonder if he thinks either Kendrick's Mr. Morale was a tragedy because of the poor reception for some, or because of what he was speaking felt tragic. Now, if I'm dissing somebody, I would take the first choice because, like, I don't really care what you were speaking about. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna just go to the numbers. I'm gonna go to the overall fan reception and how they took and viewed your music, and I'm gonna make fun of it. I'm gonna throw some shots at it. So that's what I feel like. Maybe Cole was just, was like, damn, like, your first shit was a classic, but your last shit was tragic because people think that shit weak. Another big pointer that Cole brung up in his response to Kendrick Lamar is, how often he drops albums within a 12-year span or a decade, you know what I'm saying? And it's kind of funny because it's like, that's almost comparable to J. Cole and how often he drops music, you know what I'm saying? Because he also has gone years and years without dropping a single album as well. So I thought, like, that was kind of weak. That felt kind of rushed. Like, he had to, like, think of something. Which, again, proves my point. It's like, bro, what can you say to Kendrick Lamar, bro? He's just great, you know what I'm saying? Same thing to J. Cole. There's not much that Kendrick can, throw at J. Cole as well. If anything, Drake drops way more mid than either of the two. So that's why I'm like, why is Cole talking? On the outside, getting back to this album, I do think it's cool that J. Cole has picked up on a lot of the styles and flows of rappers that he's worked with over the last year. While I like to hear that from J. Cole, it's cool and all, but I do think this album as a whole was very weak. And, I adore J. Cole's work. I adore a lot of his efforts. But you can obviously tell from this album what he put together is, his impulsiveness got to him. He had to put out something big. Along with the response, a diss to Kendrick Lamar. He had to do that, you know what I'm saying? He had to do it quick too. And that's why most of this felt like scraps. It felt like scraps to the Fall Off album potentially. I'd rather see a Drake response more than anything at this point, because honestly, he's the one that's fighting for his spot, not Cole. So with that said, no pun intended, but Drake is the underdog. And I don't think it's smart to put out other tracks along with the main subject being a diss, because everybody's looking forward to the diss. Everybody's looking forward to what you have to say. Yes, people, may fuck with the other songs, may come back to the other songs, but it's like, come on. You know what I'm saying? You know what everybody's here. You know what everybody wants. So those other songs pretty much get overshadowed. Not saying they're terrible. Not saying they're the worst thing I ever heard. And I don't say that to say that affects the quality of the song and how well it's performed and recorded. No, it has nothing to do with that, you know? That's a separate conversation. If I were the judge on that, I just think it's typical J. Cole, you know what I'm saying? There's like only one track that is kind of gives some type of varied delivery and tone, you know what I'm saying, from J. Cole. Everything was just kind of at one tone, one pace. And I also prefer for him to work with other producers, more producers with a little bit more range as well. I feel like some of these producers that made these beats didn't compliment J. Cole at any bit. But like I said, not the worst thing I ever heard. If you think it was great, you think it was great. I just don't think it's going to be remembered. I think it's going to be overlooked. It was okay at best.